Traditionally, as a mark of respect to the senior general officers and as a part of military culture, fanfare is played to herald the arrival of the senior general officers. Shortly, when the chief guest enters the arena, we will see the fanfare being played, and I shall be announcing it once more then. I'm sure when you all entered the venue, the military bands playing the martial tunes immediately filled you with patriotism and pride. Bands have always been a part of the armed forces. Initially only drums or conches for signaling, and later on for a variety of reasons, such as special events, military parades, military review, military tattoos, public relations, and troop entertainment. They also play the quintessential role of boosting the morale of the troops. Basically, there are two types of bands in the army: the pipe band, consisting of pipes and drums, and the brass band, consisting of brass instruments and a percussion ensemble. Not to forget that all these bandsmen whom we see in all the color and regaling us with their music, they're basically soldiers. And in actual battle, they do play the role of medical assistants. So it's not that they just do music, they do medicine as well. The Indian Army has a major role to play, not only in war, but also in peace. Whether it's a calamity like the helicopter crash in Wellington, or the rescue of the trapped trekker in Palakkad, or the nationwide celebrations of Swarnim Vijayvash or Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, you always find Army at the forefront, celebrating / raising to the occasion as and when required. Thank you. Now, we await the arrival of the chief guest of this event. So as I was telling you that, when a senior general officer walks in any place, there is a fanfare which is played, and fanfare is nothing but a musical flourish, which is either played by the horns or by the buglers or by the pipers, just to announce and, start the celebrations and the arrival of a senior officer. And once our chief guest for the day arrives, we'll see on the live feed as well that he will be coming and the fanfare would be playing when he enters. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just strain your ears a little bit, you'll be able to hear the fanfare, which is heralding the arrival of the chief guest of the event. That's the chief guest being received by the District Governor Rotarian Sridhar, District Secretary Ravi, and the conference chairperson, Rotarian Vinod. Ladies and gentlemen, I announce the arrival of the chief guest, Lieutenant General A. Arun, Yuddha Seva Medal, Sena Medal, and Vishisht Seva Medal, General Officer Commanding Dakshin Bharat Area, who's being escorted into the auditorium by District Governor Rotarian Sridhar, Conference Chairman Rotarian Vinod, and District Secretary Rotarian Ravi. I'll now request the General Officer Commanding to kindly grace the dais. Now, I request the District Governor Rotarian Sridhar and Conference Chairperson Rotarian Vinod to felicitate the General in a traditional manner. Now I request District Governor Rotarian Sridhar to kindly come and give the welcome address, please.
General Officer Commanding, Lieutenant General Arun, dignitaries and Rotary, fellow Rotarians, officers from Army and families of Army officers. Good morning to all of you. It's been a great pleasure for me to welcome General Officer Commanding, Lieutenant General Arun to this Rotary District Conference 2022, Synergy 22, and this Chennai Trade Center in Chennai. We are really honored, and I'm really moved with the decision that Lieutenant Commander of General Officer Commanding has agreed to be with us in this district conference. Thank you very much, sir, for everything what you are doing. All of us are happy citizens of this great country. We have great life. We lead a very happy times. We lead happy life thanks to selfless service of these gentlemen in our army, in our armed forces, who keeps us to have a great sleep in the night and have a happy time in the daytimes, while they know only one thing: the country Republic of India. And that is their breath, and that is their talk, and that is their walk. This is our army, this is our armed forces for all of us. They have been a great support to the infrastructure of this country. They have been a great source of strength for the technical advancement, technical knowledge, and the power of the strategic planning for the safety of our country. And this is what the armed forces are giving us. They are giving us enormous amount of support, which normally an ordinary citizen may even not see in a day-to-day life. I welcome the General Officer Commanding to be with us and to give us some sermon today. And thank you very much for all the Army officers and the families who are here today in large numbers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your warm and heartfelt wishes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we commence with the felicitation of the Armed Forces. Armed Forces is steeped in tradition, and one such glorious tradition is awarding gallant soldiers for their outstanding acts of bravery, courage, and sacrifice. Today, we will be celebrating the Armed Forces by felicitating some of the decorated soldiers who've been conferred with these awards. The first honor is being conferred posthumously to Commodore K.P. Gopal Rao Mahavir Chakra Vishisht Seva Medal. Unfortunately, he passed away in August last year. Dakshin Bharat area was fortunate to organize felicitation by the governor of the state few months before his demise. His actions continue to inspire the grateful nation till date. In the 1971 war, Commodore K.P. Gopal Rao Mahavir Chakra Vishisht Seva Medal was the commanding officer of Indian naval ship Kilton. He attacked the Karachi port, which resulted in sinking of enemy destroyers, one minesweeper, and paralyzed the Karachi harbor. To mark this operational victory, the Indian Navy celebrates Navy Day on the 4th of December every year. For this act of unparalleled courage and bravery, Commodore Gopal Rao was awarded the Mahavir Chakra. I now request his daughter, Ms. Savita, to kindly come and collect the honors. Commodore K.P. Gopal Rao Mahavir Chakra Vishisht Seva Medal. Now, it's my privilege to invite Rear Admiral Ram Sagar Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Veer Chakra, Nausena Medal. In 1971 war, Commander Ram Sagar, along with 3 more Elysee aircrafts, was instrumental in bombing Chittagong Airfield, Dhaka Harbour, Khulna Harbour, and Chalna Harbour. Thereafter, his team destroyed a large gunboat and many merchant ships, preventing the evacuation of Pakistani troops, which contributed in surrender of 93,000 army troops on 16th of December 1971. He was awarded the Veer Chakra for his audacious and brave action. Rear Admiral Ram Sagar, Ati Vishish Seva Medal, Veer Chakra, Nausena Medal. Now, I proudly present Colonel A. Krishnaswamy, Veer Chakra, Vishish Seva Medal and Bar. In the 1971 Indo-Pak War, then Major A. Krishnaswamy, with his team, crossed the Turig River and went behind the enemy lines. His small team successfully forced a much larger strength to surrender to them. For this gallant action, Major Krishnaswamy was awarded the Veer Chakra. Colonel A. Krishnaswamy, Veer Chakra, Vishish Seva Medal and Bar. Now I call upon Junior Warrant Officer M.S. Gopakumar. He is an air warrior with an outstanding track record in the game of chess with international rating. World Chess Federation awarded the air warrior with the coveted International Arbiter title and FIDE instructor. He is the first service personnel to achieve this distinction. He has been nominated to be the Deputy Chief Arbiter for the chess event in Asian Games 2022 at Hangzhou, China, and 44th World Chess Olympiad at Chennai. Junior Warrant Officer M.S. Gopakumar. Next is Colonel Shri Next is Colonel Sri Ram Shaurya Chakra. During his tenure at Kashmir in 2009, then Major Sri Ram and his team, displaying keen tactical acumen, killed 2 terrorists in Doda district and facilitated apprehension of a female terrorist. For his unflinching devotion to duty, audacity, leadership of a very high order, valor, and raw courage in the face of heavy hostile fire, he was awarded the Shaurya Chakra. Colonel Sri Ram Shaurya Chakra. Now I call Colonel Praveen Kumar, Sena Medal. During his tenure at Gurez Sector, North Kashmir in 2010, Major Praveen Kumar, with his team, commenced search and destroy operations. In spite of getting shot, Major Praveen Kumar exhibited exemplary courage, sense of responsibility, with utter disregard to personal safety under heavy fire, motivated his team to perform to its zenith, resulting in killing of 2 terrorists, extrication of a teammate, busting the hideout, and recovery of considerable amount of arms and ammunition. For this gallant act, he was awarded the Sena Medal Gallantry. Next is Colonel Sanjay Singh Karki, Sena Medal and Bar. During his tenure at Manipur in 2005, along with 5 commandos, Major Sanjay Singh Karki killed 4 militants, including a training instructor of United Nations Liberation Front. Major Sanjay Karki displayed offensive spirit, dauntless courage, and exemplary leadership under fire. For his steadfast resolve and devotion, he was given the Sena Medal Gallantry. Colonel Sanjay Singh Karki. Now I call upon Colonel Bhupender Solanki, Sena Medal. Lieutenant Bhupender Solanki displayed raw courage, high degree of leadership qualities, and excellent coordination in killing 1 hardcore terrorist of National Democratic Front of Boroland and apprehended another NFDB cadre, preventing collateral damage to the built-up area. For this act of unparalleled bravery, he was awarded the Sena Medal Gallantry. Colonel Bhupinder Solanki. Now I call Lieutenant Colonel P.S. Parihar, Sena Medal. In 2013, Major P.S. Parihar, while serving with the 55 Rashtriya Rifles in Pulwama, South Kashmir, along with his team, with utter disregard to his personal safety, showing exemplary courage and leadership, neutralized 2 terrorists of Lashkar-e-Taiba with no collateral damage. He was awarded Sena Medal Gallantry for the act. Next is Havaldar A.S. Shanmugam, Sena Medal. While deployed on the line of control, he came under heavy enemy firing. Displaying commendable tactical acumen and exceptional courage, he destroyed 2 enemy bunkers with his rocket launcher, causing enormous casualty to the enemy. For his extraordinary courage, determination and offensive spirit, he was awarded the Sena Medal. Havaldar Shanmugam. Next is Lance Havaldar J. Hari Krishna, Sena Medal. While serving in Pulwama district, South Kashmir, when he sensed grave danger to his commanding officer, with utter disregard to his own safety, he swiftly covered him and effectively retaliated to the fire. He displayed astute tactical acumen, raw courage, and went beyond the call of duty and killed a dreaded terrorist of Lashkar-e-Taiba. He was awarded the Sena Medal Gallantry. Lance Havaldar J. Hari Krishna. Next we have Sipahi Vijay Bhaskar, Sena Medal. In 2019, Sipahi Vijay Bhaskar was deployed along the line of control as a sniper. With hunting instincts and accurate firing capabilities, Sipahi Vijay Bhaskar killed one of the enemy sniper soldiers. This successive offensive engagement of the enemy troops marked the beginning of complete dominance over enemy. For his boldness and courage under fire, he was awarded the Sena Medal Gallantry. Sipahi Vijay Bhaskar. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I proudly call upon Lieutenant General A. Arun, Yuddha Seva Medal, Sena Medal, Vishisht Seva Medal. He was commanding a counter-terrorist unit in Kashmir. On receiving information about terrorists hiding in a masjid, Colonel Arun and his men stormed the masjid. In the resultant encounter, Colonel Arun was seriously shot and wounded. Despite being grievously injured, with utter disregard to his personal safety, he continued to lead the operation till all the 5 terrorists were killed. For displaying leadership of the highest order, showing unparalleled courage against grave odds, retaining sanctity of a religious shrine, he was awarded the Sena Medal Gallantry. Lieutenant General A. Arun. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude the felicitation of our brave soldiers of the armed forces. Now, it's my singular privilege to request Lieutenant General A. Arun, Yuddha Seva Medal, Sena Medal, Vishisht Seva Medal, General Officer Commanding, Dakshin Bharat Area, to please come and speak to us.
From the dense and humid jungles of Arunachal to the barren expanse of the Rann of Kutch, from the beaches of Port Blair to the high-altitude desert in Ladakh, the Indian Army is ever ready, be it war or as the ever-dependable instrument of the state and sustaining national pride. The Indian soldier stands steadfast and strong, knowing that the aspirations of over 1 billion Indians rests on his shoulders. He soldiers on, unrelenting in his pursuit of excellence. The nation expects, the army delivers. In heat and cold, in pleasure and pain, stoic and steadfast, you will find him living by his honor code, willing to pay even with his life. for the dignity of our nation, the idea of India.
Jai Hind. And thank you. Thank you to Rotary District 3232. Thank you, ma'am, for traveling all the way across so many oceans and making this possible. It's a privilege and a pleasure having you here. And thanks to all of you all who've not just put this event together, but have deemed us worthy of this recognition. For have given your time, your energy, your effort, and your resources. We are a grateful armed forces. Thank you once again. So, 1971, you saw the three dignitaries on stage. Ma'am, you're a dignitary as well because you're the daughter of a proud daughter of a very, very proud father. Some snippets about these three people you must know, which was probably drowned in the applause of their citation. Her dad executed operations off the coast of Karachi to such an extent that it cost the Pakistani naval ships, it made it impossible for them to sail out of their harbor and be effective against us. 4th of December. It is now 51 years to that day. 4th of December is celebrated as Indian Navy Day. That is the contribution of her dad. Awesome. Admiral Ramsagar, you know, you and I get a thrill out of jumping off a static aircraft or worse, you know, in a mall where you jump off the trampoline and get a photograph. He's flown a vintage, probably World War II or thereabouts aircraft on a floating platform which is an aircraft carrier. Tom Hanks or whoever it is looks damn good in whatever, Mission Impossible and ABC. He's making a new one, I believe, Top Gun Maverick, right? This is the real deal. With an injured aircraft, with an aircraft that had been shot, with a sailing deck whose lights were not operative, executed numerous missions and landed back safely. Priceless, sir, grateful. Colonel Krishnaswamy, when I walked in, I asked him, sir, what is the secret of your youth? He told me, I'll tell you later. That's how he is. So as a young company commander, volunteered to go into an area which he had not seen before. Laid an ambush successfully. A small handful of men stopped an entire battalion of the Pakistanis from coming into an area where we would have got decimated. A small handful of men forced a large number of fully armed soldiers to surrender. That is courage of the highest order. Thank you, sir. So 1971, I need this so that I don't get anything wrong, actually started in March. In March 24th or thereabouts, the Constituent Assembly of then East Pakistan declared their intent to secede from Pakistan. The Indian Assembly and the government promptly recognized it. This began a little process of friction resulting in atrocities on the then minority community in East Pakistan, which then resulted in a huge exodus of migrants. You could call them illegal, but they were people forced to relocate. Even today, movement of people is the most significant problem the world faces for whatever the reason may be. What were the numbers that came into India? Close to 10 million. We weren't a big, rich country then, but we welcomed these refugees with open arms. That is what India stands for. So on the 4th of December, when things came to a boil, a lot of our airfields on the west were attacked by the Pakistani Air Force and war was joined. bloody, brutal, short war in the history of mankind, modern or ancient. Never before have so few forced so many to surrender. It took all of 13 days. On the 16th of December, General Niazi surrendered in Dhaka. 93,241 soldiers. They were not unarmed. They were not hungry. It's not that they had been fighting for ages. They were just forced to succumb to a superior fighting machine, to a nation that fought from what is popularly today called the moral right. That is what empowers a soldier to fight the just cause. And that is what we did. Okay, in this war, a few trivia for you. We fought a war on two fronts. On the east, in East Pakistan, and on the west with what is now Pakistan, separated by about 5,000 kilometers. Today, you might read in the newspaper article, is India capable of fighting a two-front war? For God's sake, you did it in 1971. That should end the argument. Right. Over 6,000 sorties were launched. So many sorties, ladies and gentlemen, were not launched in World War II in a 13-day period. That is the power of what the Air Force did. Numerous ports were attacked on both sides, both in what is now Bangladesh and Pakistan. 8,000 Pakistani soldiers paid for this with their lives. Over 25,000 were wounded. How many did we lose? About 3,000 soldiers died, and over 12,000 were wounded significantly. Probably a larger number sustained minor injuries. In all, we captured over 15,000 square kilometers of land in West Pakistan. We had 93,000 human beings as prisoners of war. We looked after them with the dignity, the decorum, and the service etiquette which a soldier gives another. With the grace that is becoming of a great country, we returned these soldiers, sailors, airmen, equipment, not just with whatever they had, but we also returned the 15,000 square kilometers which we had captured at great loss to ourselves. That is grace. This is what builds national power. In all this, there was this small issue. We gave birth to a new nation. No country in the history of modern mankind has ever waged a war to create a nation. We did it for 75 million Bangladeshis today. That is what happened in 71. So what is it that we do in the army? We fight wars. True. But we fight wars either for a just cause or to protect the national integrity, territorial sovereignty, and the very essence of nationhood for India. That is what we do. How many times have we had to do this? Soon after independence, 48, go through the wars of 62, 65, 71, 98, and more recently on our northern borders in 2018, 19. Wars across our unstable borders are constant. Now, while that has been happening, let me tell you something about our own country. I'm saying let me tell you because I'm not sure many of you all may know these statistics. These are official statistics, so I will read them out. 22 major languages, over 200 dialects, last recorded over 52,700 variants of these dialects, 12 major ethnic groups, 7 major religions, thousands of subsects, 68 socio-cultural groups. Do we need nation building? Yes. This is as diverse as anybody can get. So what is it that binds a nation? Is it the power of its industry? Is it the wealth that we are able to generate? Is it the medical facilities that we have? Is it the educational levels that we give our men? What is it that makes a nation? My view is very simple. It's a shared idea of what a nation must bring. When the shared idea and vision is common, you will have a nation homogeneous or heterogeneous. Since we are such a diverse mix, we need to make efforts to put into the fabric of this country the cement that will make it a nation. That is what the army does best. So while we are not waging wars, there are a few small things that we do. First is, for most Indians who live on our border areas in far-flung villages, the government of India is represented by one person alone. That lone soldier who wears the flag on his chest. That is the one person who he sees. For those people, this soldier is the government, is the country, he is the nation. That is how it starts. When units go to border areas, they become the hub to the spokes which are cottage industries, become the source of livelihood. We employ porters, we employ vehicles, we employ mules, we employ people. We use them for carriage of our loads. The commissary or the canteen in the unit becomes the local grocer for that village. When our supplies come, we share it with them. When there is a natural disaster, he doesn't look at anything else. He looks at the nearest army unit. This is nation building at its base. Be it the wars that we've had to fight, be it the insurgencies that we've had to deal with, the secessionist problems that we live with, the floods that ravage our country year on year, be it the Naxalism problem, the army is always there. Let's look at our neighborhood. History is replete with examples of the past when our neighbors have had problems and we've intervened militarily to stabilize the government of the country. That is what we do to bring stability to the region. Humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, self-explanatory. Let me give you a small example. About a couple of months back, I received a call from the office of the Chief Minister of Kerala. It was about 5:30 in the evening, and the call was very simple. There's a boy who's stuck on the hillside in Palakkad. It's been 48 hours. What can you do? So I told him, sir, go back home and sleep easy. We'll pick him up tomorrow morning. Now I said that. Bravado. I had no idea whether that kid was alive. I had no idea where it was. I had no idea of our abilities to pick him up. But when you want to inspire confidence in the elected government of a state, you have to sound confident. We picked him up before breakfast the next day. When it comes to development of infrastructure on the borders, we've spoken about development of defense industry without reference to a major war that is happening somewhere west of us. Defense industry contributes exponentially to the growth of civil industry, not just in terms of money, but in terms of the dual-use technologies that are developed. So defense industry and its spawning off the course of what we do is priceless. We are in many ways the very guarantor of the idea of India. But through all this, there is one reason all this happens. It's because of the soldier. And you just saw so many soldiers who were honored for various acts. What does the soldier do? Hell, high water, the deserts of Rajasthan to the highest mountain peaks over 15,000 feet, forests, jungles, rivers, cities, counter-insurgency, counter-terrorism, hungry, unclothed, overworked, he will serve with a smile. I stand here and speak to you on the shoulders of the millions of soldiers, sailors and airmen who make this possible. So when it comes to the soldier, let me tell you a small story. Don't confuse this with what our news anchors refer to as a story. This is no such story. This is real life. And I will recount it as I walked through that gentleman's life. It was probably 2003. And I was a lieutenant colonel. We were deployed in a difficult area, and there would be some form of an accident or a firing. Somebody would get hurt on a daily basis. Very difficult area. Walking was tough. So at about 2:30 in the afternoon, I got a information from a local source that in X village, there are 5 militants. That's all the information you will get. Forget about these movies. Nobody will tell you house with a green door, bamboo floor, bamboo roof, number 69. Doesn't happen. This is all the information you will get. Can you tell me the name of the village? He'll say, yes, probably there I saw them. That is all you will get. And he went. You can choose to act on that information or not act. In the absence of high-tech info, you act. Simple. So I got through to that company commander on a high-frequency radio set because he was a distance away from me. And I told him, Mal, so many villages, so many militants, go. Now, was that my plan of action? Yes. So was I smoking a pipe and standing on a model and moving, little pieces around before I made the plan? It doesn't happen in real life. When it comes to terrorism and militancy, that is contact. You act, you'll succeed. You ruminate, think, cook up 7 options, do advantage, disadvantage, pros, cons, put it through Deloitte or McKinsey or somebody, come back with a 300-page report, militants gone. Doesn't work. So, who's that? So I told the company commander, go. Why else? He's a company commander, young lad, but he has an area of responsibility. Who should know that area of responsibility better, he or me? He. Who knows his men better, he or me? He. Who knows the villages better, he or me? So how the hell am I qualified to make a plan? Same thing for these expert consultants. Your problem, you're best to resolve it. Anyway, I have nothing against consultants. So Mal launched. Half an hour later, when you spend many years doing this, you get a feeling that something could go wrong. I launched our doctor, and I got a crack team, and I launched him with the doctor. My doctor was brand new. Brand new. He had come like this. He had been in the unit for all of 6 days. He couldn't speak a word of Hindi. And my men could not speak a word of Kannada. He was short. Nobody in our family is fat, right? He was just a healthy kid. And my men are tall and big and strong like that. So my men were like that, and the doctor was like this. He didn't know anybody's name, yet he had to go with them. So he left. At about 5 o'clock, I got a message on the radio set. This is a message which nobody likes to hear. You can put yourself in the place of a leader. Let's say you're running an industry. Let's say your clinic. Before you go to your clinic in the morning, you hear there's been an oxygen cylinder explosion in your clinic. 17 people have been injured, including patients who are waiting. All your staff are dead. People have been picked up and they've been taken to various hospitals, and you don't know which. How will you feel? So the message I got was, Sab, bande ko goli lagi hai, which means one of our men has been shot. To me, that is failure. Why is it failure? Why am I a leader? Why was there fanfare when I played? Why did you all rise in respect when I walked in? I am then expected to repay in gold. Gold means on my watch, nobody must get shot. 2 people have a weapon, somebody will get shot. But if somebody gets shot because I have been inadequate in my planning, in my commitment, or in my haste to take a decision, then I must be hanged for it. That is a failure of leadership. If it happens despite all of these, that's perfectly fine. But the man had been shot, so I got my QRT which is a quick reaction team, and I ran. Now ran. The village from where we were was about 6.5 hours walk. So we had to go downhill, climb another short hill, go downhill, cross a little stream, and then climb up half a hillside. It was on the mid-ridge. So it would take about 6 hours in day, but this was a crisis, so I was running. At about 9:30, I got a call from the doctor, and he said, "Sir, I'm afraid." Why was he afraid? He'd never seen this before. 6 days, straight out of med school. The closest he had come to fear or pressure was probably the whistle of the pressure cooker going at home. He was healthy. He'd never worn that equipment. Let me tell you something about equipment. A soldier of any country, whether he's a Marine, whether he's a Green Beret, whether he's one of our soldiers in CI Ops, when you go out for a long operation, so you have your uniform, your boots, you have your bulletproof jacket, you have your pack, you have your bulletproof helmet or patka, you have your AK-47, you have 4 magazines, 2 grenades, 2 bottles of water, first aid kit, maybe some rations, maybe some extra ammunition for all of about 32 odd kilos. When it rains, this 32 becomes 64. So we were walking this kind of load which he had never carried before. He was afraid. He didn't know the men he was working with, so he was afraid. He didn't know from where he would be fired at, so he was afraid. Most importantly, he was afraid in his first days in the unit, there would be a soldier who would probably die. And men would take it as either an inefficient doctor or bad luck doctor. In businesses like mine, luck is a critical component as it is in leadership. Good leaders are those who are lucky. You could argue that we make our own luck. Try doing it alone. I challenge you, sir, to run your dental clinic alone, all by yourself. It won't stand. So teams are very important, and that's where luck comes in. In my business, more than ever before. So if I've been shot 5 times, I stand, I run 10 kilometers every day. Am I damn lucky? Of course I am. It isn't my... Rajinikanth is very fast on screen, but I can't dodge a bullet. It's just luck that it hits you somewhere which doesn't incapacitate you. So the doctor was afraid, and I remember shouting at him. Anger works sometimes. And he just went quiet. At about 11 o'clock, he called me again on the Motorola, and he said, "Sir, I've reached the casualty, but wherever I'm cutting, I'm seeing blood." So wherever he was cutting away the uniform, he was seeing blood. I shouted at him again. I told him, "Your job is to keep us alive." What does a doctor do in the armed forces? He keeps me healthy when not at war, and keeps me alive if I get shot. That's the end of his damn job. He gets paid for it. Unlike me, he doesn't have to kick a door and shoot somebody, right? He saves me. So I told him, "This chap cannot die." It doesn't work like that. We all know it. But he was a young lad, and he needed something like this because he was scared. So in about 5 minutes, I reached the spot where the casualty was. They had taken him out. The moment I reached there, heard a noise. This is how a high velocity automatic weapon sounds. Typically an AK-47 sounds like this. So when you heard the firing, I left it there and went into the village. The next day morning, a helicopter came and picked up the casualty and took him away to hospital. We stayed in that village for 5 days. 5 days and 5 nights. We searched that village. Every house in that village. We found the 5 militants who were there. But for 5 days and 5 nights, we had nothing extra to eat. Because we had committed all our resources, including logistics, into this operation. So 5 days, 5 nights, all our men went hungry. Came back to base. And I asked the person who was in charge, "How's the soldier?" And he gave me an answer which is absolutely unacceptable. He said, "Sir, for 2 days I have not spoken to the hospital. To me, that is a failure of his leadership. If you cannot speak, you must find ways to communicate. You are paid to provide solutions, not to whine about circumstances. That's a leadership choice which you must enforce." Anyway, With the greatest of difficulty, I got through to the hospital. And those days we used to have, which in the army is called 5 Alpha, 5 Bravo. So it's a green telephone, which has got a handle. Sir would have seen it in 1971. I discovered yesterday, Captain Dr. Gupta of Gupta and Company, who has served in the 1971 war, and not just that, he served in a regiment of which I am the colonel of the regiment today, which means I am like the father figure of the regiment, and that is the Grenadiers. So fantastic, sir, thank you. So he would have seen this phone. So you turn a handle, it generates a current. Current is carried through a wire. It goes to the exchange, bulb lights up. Operator will take out your jack, put it into his headset and say, operator, sir. And then you say, I want so-and-so. He'll ring up that person. That light will light up. He will take that jack and put it here and say, through, sir. This is a 15-line exchange. It works brilliantly. Never fails. Parts of New York, London, Tokyo, Melbourne, Sydney, Chennai. You cannot get through. Hello, hello. This one always works. It's brilliant, priceless. Anyway, got through to the hospital, got through to the ward where he was admitted. A nurse picked up the phone in the ICU and I asked her, Banda kaise hai? How's my man? Nurse, ICU, leadership, she owned the ICU. She told me, sir, don't shout. She had no idea of the state that I was in. We'd been out for about 6 days. We'd not eaten. We just had 2 liters of water. We were tired, fatigued. One of our men was probably dying. No success is worth the loss of one soldier. None. So that's what I was feeling, but she didn't know that. So I told her, sorry, Sarla Devi ji, that's her name. I remember it after so many days. Told her, I'm sorry. I said, let's start again. I asked her, how's my soldier? She said, sir, he's okay. What does okay mean? Again, I got angry. She said, sir, next time you shout, I'll put this phone down. I said, goodness, you put the phone down, I'll never get through again. So I said, don't do it. But this is what she told me. She said, sir, his femur has fragmented at 2 places. Now, please understand, the doctors here may know, when you break a bone, it breaks like this, clean. When it fragments like this, multiple pieces. Which is why there was blood all over on his leg. So, femur left 2 places. A bulletproof jacket has got protection in front, protection in the back, some for the throat, some for the abdomen, nothing for the sides. Doesn't have. The modern ones which you see on television and all have, but they're actually not bulletproof vests, they're just vests for the movie. Yeah. Why would you think the producer spent so much money buying a real bulletproof Kevlar vest? He wouldn't do it. It's open here. Now he was shot here, a big burst of 5 or 6 rounds. Bullets are small projectiles, this much. Technically, they should go in and get out straight. But bullets are bullets, they don't behave like that. So if you're unlucky, 2 bullets in your body, inside, may hit each other, break into 4. If you're really unlucky, one of them will hit a bone and splinter the bone. Now the piece of bone also travels through the body. To keep a long story short, he had small holes on the left side, but he had a hole the size of a baseball on the right side. The fact is that when he was put into the helicopter the next morning, his entrails and inside were put in a little polythene bag and put inside the helicopter. She said, sir, when he fell, now when your leg gets shot and your bone breaks, there's nothing cinematic about it. You cannot jump in slow motion or crawl, you just collapse. So he fell a few feet, I don't know, 10, 20, 30, 40, and his chest hit a rock, like that. Now, those days, the bulletproof vest was a sheet of iron. We didn't have modern bulletproof jackets. So the iron, when it hit his chest, 5 of his ribs got fractured. And those ribs perforated his left kidney, left lung, which was filled with blood and body fluids. These were his injuries. So I asked her, will he live? Straight question, I'm a soldier, will he live? Tell me yes, no. Give me a percentage, 20, 30, 40, I can live with that. But she's a nurse. Doctors and nurses, God bless all of y'all, you don't ever give up. So fantastic, my compliments to all doctors and nurses here. So as far as she was concerned, but she can't say 100% he will live. So again she said, okay. Now this time I didn't get angry. I asked her, can I speak to him? And she said, sir, I don't know whether he can hear you because he hasn't spoken a word, but his eyes are open. I don't even know if he can hear anybody. So I said, put the handset near his ear. Because we are, at the end of it, soldiers are sentimental people. What do they say? We dream of warm hearths, a warm bed, a loving wife, a loving daughter, a loving son, music, home food. This is what soldiers long for. That's all the soldier needs, to be sentimental people. So I thought the transmission of the good wishes of so many of our men, which I will relay to him, will help him get better. So she got the handset near his ear and said, sir, you can speak. And I asked him, Nimbaram, that was his name. Nimbaram, he was from Sikar district in Rajasthan. And I asked him, Nimbaram, kya haal hai tere? How are you, son? For about 15 seconds, there was no response. And I was about to put the handset down, thinking that, either he can't hear me or he can't speak or both. And there was utter dejection as far as I felt at that point. But just as I was about to hand over the phone to the operator, the handset, I heard a feeble voice. I'll say it in Hindi and then I'll translate it in English for you, ma'am. And for anybody else in Chennai who doesn't speak Hindi. He said, Saab, पेट में थोड़ी सी तकलीफ है. Which means after all these injuries, he's telling me, I have a small ache in my stomach. Complain about the size of the heels you're wearing and that your ankle is swollen up. Complain about the uncarpeted floor that you had to walk on. These are soldiers. The country is immaterial. All soldiers are like this. This is not enough. I didn't know what to say. And then I heard him say in a feebler, thinner voice, कि साहब पलटन के बाकी बंदे कैसे हैं? Which means, sir, how are the rest of the men of the team? This man is dying and his concern is for the well-being of the rest of his team. This is priceless. This is the soldier who works for us day in and day out. And I have absolutely no hesitation in saying, ladies and gentlemen, for our today, he gave his yesterday. For our tomorrow, as I speak, he's giving his today. So when you see a veteran, I beseech you, please stop, shake his hand and tell him you're doing an awesome job. Feel like it? Buy him a cup of coffee. These veterans need your support. They need your appreciation. They will walk 5 miles. So at the end of it, ladies and gentlemen, this is the story of the Indian Army nation building. This is the story of our soldier. We have done what it takes. My request to you is to go ahead and do what is required. Thank you. Jai Hind. But you should have given me a trophy. Yeah, I got it.
Thank you very much, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, while our heart rates settle down a little bit, I'll request Rotarian Sridhar to kindly felicitate General Arun once again. Lieutenant General A. Arun, Yudh Seva Medal, Sena Medal, Vishisht Seva Medal, General Officer Commanding, Dakshin Bharat Area. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I will request Rotarian Rajgopal to kindly come and deliver his vote of thanks.
Dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, a very good morning. At the outset, I thank Lieutenant General Arun, YSM, SM, VSM for having accepted our request and for having delivered a rousing speech, also with the finer details of the 1971 war. Thank you, sir. We as Rotarians are privileged that we were able to honor the 1971 war veterans and other gallantry awardees. Today and forever, we Rotarians are in debt to you. And we are thankful that the army with its valor and strength is there to protect our motherland. I thank the pipe band from 12 Madras Regiment and the brass band from MEG Center for their melodious and awe-inspiring tunes. I thank Brigadier Himashri, Brigadier Tamil Amudan, Colonel Sandeep Sharma, Colonel Sriram, Colonel Karki, Colonel Prabhu, Lieutenant Colonel Vineet Gaur, Captain Bhavjot Kaur, and the general staff officers for having interfaced with us and having delivered a great event. It would not be out of place to thank all Rotarians who have turned up here to honor all these people. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, after the national anthem, we will hear the pipes playing the all-time favorite Scottish tune, Auld Lang Syne, which literally means the good old times. This tune is traditionally played in the forces when we part till we meet again. As the pipers walk out, we will come to an end of this scintillating celebration. You're all requested to kindly rise for the national anthem. Those in uniform will salute. Jai Hind.